Ethan Nation, I'm back here with Salt Lake City's most famous entrepreneur by far. This dude is the community of Salt Lake. This dude is legendary. He's gonna go into his story and everything that he's doing, but no question, someone I look up to.
Thank you, man.
Hugely, bro. Hugely. You are like doing it for real and like locally. And it's dope, dude. And I think it's not gonna be so local for very long.
Hey, man.
Welcome to the show, baby.
Dude, it's an honor to be here, man. I say that. I'm like, here we are. By the way, am I looking in here or am I looking at you? Like, where do you want it? You?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Look at me.
I mean, when there's cameras going, I'm like, hey, where are we gonna pop this up? Dude, it's so dope to be here with you. And
we barely even
see what you're doing.
We barely even talked. I feel like.
It's like a few like late night text messages or DMs on Instagram or like waving from a distance or seeing you in passing, which is the reality of entrepreneurship, man.
And we just kind of recognize it, like, oh, we know how that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in fact, I do that with other restaurant owners. It's like, haven't seen you in forever, and I probably haven't texted you back in like X so long, but you know how it is, right?
I think those that really get it, that understand what it means to like grow your business from the ground up, and reality is like grow your business from nothing but like vision and tenacity and maybe ambition and a little bit of resources, however you got it, however you came about that. But I think you can relate. Yeah. And that was something when I saw you, and I can't remember the first time we engaged, but I mean, I've been watching you from a distance. I'm like, he gets it. Yeah. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that type of effort and that type of just tenacity and ambition, man. It's exciting.
For me, it's like, I think of it like the depth of someone versus the width of someone. I'm like, we're not like the most followed people like on Instagram necessarily, right? But like if you do follow, you probably get and understand that like we're actually doing it the right way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I can say I don't know if it's necessarily the right way, but I do know that there is a wrong way, and I feel like us sharing a bit of our recipe and a bit of our method, I think that to me is what's most important under these conditions. If you're committed to being a great entrepreneur and also like committed to other entrepreneurs and providing a bit of roadmap or experience, I think sharing it in its realest form. I think the first time I actually connected with you, dude, you were apologizing on Instagram. You were literally like, hey, we just got our asses
One of the
kicked.
most interesting
we were totally got smoked, but you flipped the script. And I was like, he gets it. Yeah. The dude wants to fail fast and grow. And dude, it's fun to watch, man. Yeah. It's fun to watch.
What are you doing what you're doing for? Like, because I like to sometimes address that. Why am I even why do I post so much? You know what I mean? Like, what am I trying to get out of this? What's your answer for that? Like, why are you trying to be the community dude? Why do you want all the attention? Like,
dude,
what are your intentions with that?
It's twofold for me, right? It's twofold for me. Bro, I love to create. I love how people feel around a table. I love connectivity. That's why I love dining rooms. I love anthropology of space. I love cool brands because of how people buy into it. Like, that's what I'm about. Yeah. Like, dude, I love what, dude, by the way, like, I'm packing heat right here, sugar-free, of course, right?
Let's go.
But I'm packing thirst heat right here, and reality is, to me, it has to be more than a great drink, a great bun, a roll, a scone, whatever it might be. Yeah. To me, there's more. And when I buy into something or I buy into someone, I buy into it universally. Yeah. Like, I want to know who you are as an operator, who you are as an individual, who you are as a leader. And so gravitating towards someone like you is big for me. So twofold for me is, dude, I love to create. And a part of creating is creating opportunity, not just experiences. Yeah. Right? And so second is, dude, I love seeing potential in people. I love it. Yeah. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you come in my dining room, you see me with my team. Yeah. The reality of it is, it's just how I live. I'm this way all the time. Yeah. There's no off switch for me. I'm this way at home. I'm this way. Whether I'm in the gym, dude, I'm hiking up the mountain, dude, I'm with you tableside, dude, or I'm sitting in a podcast with you. Yeah. I'm always peaking. And I love seeing potential in people, and I love championing that potential through opportunity, through resource, guidance, development, association. Yeah. I love going arm in arm with people, dude, and I love failing fast. So it's like, dude, it's one thing to jump into I don't know why I'm using this analogy, but it seems like it's working for me. But it's one thing to, go off the high jump, dude, into a pool and cannonball on your own. But bro, you get 3 or 4 others with you on that top ledge, bro, and you all hit the water together, that splash is massive.
Yeah.
And I love making a massive splash.
Yeah.
Dude, and it changes people's lives.
Yeah.
It just changes people's lives. So, dude, it just so happens that food and hospitality, man, craft and hospitality get to be my conduit for making a big splash in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you always all in, like, whatever you're doing? Are you just kind of all in on it and wanting to be the best at it and just go crazy with it?
No question. Right? Like my journey's a little different, dude. I didn't come from a lot of thought partnership or development. Like there wasn't anyone around my home table, like talking to me about what university I'm going to go to or what school I'm going to take on or like what entrepreneurship means. Like I'm just starting businesses because I wanted the hustle and I wanted things, right? I was that kid that was like, dude, I want that car. I want that house. I want that shoe. I want that life. And the reality is for me, I didn't grow up around a lot of those choices. I grew up in a family that unconditionally loved, and I think that's such a recipe, right? Because I never spent a single day not feeling like I was incredibly loved, but the rest was up to me. Yeah. And I can say for years I tried to figure this out, dude, from coaches and life coaches to therapists, dude, to thought partners and mentors, to podcasts, to whatever it might be, dude. Ultimately, I ended up like with a Buddhist monk, trying to figure out, like, dude, how do I figure out this life of kind of breath and counterbalance, and I feel like I need to slow down from time to time, and I just realized, dude, that some people have a certain amount of horsepower, and I realized that like kind of breathing techniques and taking a breath is not for me, dude. I'm an all-in guy. Yeah. And so I'm far better at going all in than I am at being moderate. So what I've learned is my disciplines on what I'm willing to commit to, because I only know how to go all in. Yeah. And so I'm either all in or I'm all out. There's no in between for me.
Yeah. So was this just like a big, long journey of figuring out what your mindset is? Like what your perspective is on life, basically?
Bro, I'm more self-aware today.
That sounded like a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm 24, like...
Dude, and I'm telling you, bro, I didn't start to figure this out. Like, I'm in my late 30s, but I feel like... Dude, I feel better in my late 30s than I felt at 30. And at 24, 25, like you, dude, you're incredibly thoughtful and resourceful. You ask a lot of questions. At 24, I didn't ask anybody shit, dude. I just thought I had it all. I thought I knew it all. I was like this young executive traveling the country, opening restaurant after restaurant. Yeah. And I thought I had it all figured out. And the reality is at 24, 25, I didn't know anything compared to what I know now. And so the self-awareness came from a lot of hard failure. Yeah. It came from like the self-convincing narrative that I told myself I wanted to be something without listening to what I truly wanted to become. And the reality is, for so long, I had this artful self-narrative that was like, be an operator. Like, you're going to be the COO, CEO, president of large emerging brands. And I thought that's what I wanted. And I continued to get there and couldn't understand when I got there why I almost became somewhat like self-sabotaging. Like, why do I not want to be here when that's all I've wanted? And I realized that my reward center is this. Dude, my reward center is even in parallel, dude. I have no direct I have no economic investment in your success, as you know, beyond being a customer, right? But I get gratification in seeing you and others win if I've just shared a little bit of the recipe that's been able to help kind of mold your cake, or help bring your drink together, or help accelerate your drive-through, or expand your dining room, or grow, from a marketing standpoint. And so I think for me, dude, it was getting clear in my reward center that I'm here to like share my story, because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs can relate. Yeah. I think it also gives people the chance that it's real. Like, dude, I started this with literally nothing more than my heart and my mind and horsepower. That was it. I didn't start this with a loan. I didn't start this with people giving me money. I started this by losing, honestly, dude, everything along the way, until I got to a place where I'm like, I'm doing this from my heart for people. And so I think the last 2 years of my 15 or so in business has really helped me identify like my identity, my wants. Like, I'm more self-aware today than ever, dude. And I think it just translates in my work. Yeah.
Did you decide to start sharing it, like using social, going all in on social, or was it just like when social came around, naturally, like you started talking on that one too?
No, dude. In fact, I feel like I was late to social. Yeah. I really do. Like, I had people that we know, the Omar Presswiches, the Roger Rojases, the Kate, like others, even go as far as what's the dude's name? Gary Vee, right? That you hear this, like, throw it out there, throw it out
Gary
there.
Vee, that no entrepreneurs know about.
Like, get out there, share your best. And I'm like, dude, listen, that's not for me, baby. I'm all in on my brand, tunnel vision. I'm doing me.
Where do you differ from like what Gary Vee wants versus what you want?
I think here's the reality. I discounted the importance of building your personal brand, of building your audience, and went all in on my brands first.
Yeah.
And I made a transition about 18 months ago to go all in on the Micheal McHenry brand, like all in on me, to help that ignite and accelerate all the brands I build and the brands around me. And dude, it was the best decision I made. Not only I think personally, as well as just from a strategic positioning within the business. And here's why. When you start throwing yourself out on social, which you do, right? That becomes like this like storybook. It's like your journal out loud. And when you get comfortable just being vulnerable with everyone, bro, to me it felt like whatever your beliefs are or aren't, dude, it felt to me it's like so intimate when you pray out loud. And to me it's like all of a sudden you're giving this video journal out loud to people you don't even know.
Yeah.
And to me, what that allowed me to do is it built my muscle around being okay with like sharing my fears and sharing my failures, accelerated my business because I grew a self-confidence in that, dude, that I feel like makes me a way better
You mean in
leader.
like posting stories
Totally.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, because you're sharing your message all day long.
All day.
You're literally just sharing it.
Yeah.
Like you're sharing the wins and the losses, dude, the failures. And I get that, like, dude, your life looks perfect. I'm like, bro, where were you guys for 15 years? The problem is I actually, because these successes we're having now feel like they're overnight and they're really after 15 years.
Yeah.
Like a 15-year overnight success. I don't look forward to closing any restaurants, bro, and I don't look forward to massive failures, but I can look back now and go, damn, you know, walking into a restaurant that you put your heart and soul into and several $100,000, and you're walking in and locking the door behind you to let the staff know.
Did you do that?
I've done that. I've just never recorded it because that was before I was sharing that.
Yeah.
But I can say today, if I was to lock up a restaurant, dude, I can tell you right now, bro, I'm taking the social environment and my community on that journey because there's so much to be learned in going dark.
That's exactly what we did in that piece of content you're talking about.
Yeah.
We ended up 2 months ago we was losing money every day anyways. Yeah. It could have been really good. If I looked at mine and Rachel's time, it's higher ROI, and we have these stores that we have right now. Totally. So we literally just put a post out, hey guys, like we just don't think it's a good value right now. We might come back to it later, but we're closing it. Yeah. Just closed down the local ghost kitchen. I worked on it for like 8 months. Yeah. Probably spent $25,000 on that, you know?
There's real value in knowing when to bow out. Like knowing when to bow out. Further away? Yeah. Knowing when to bow out. Like knowing when it's time to abandon a vision. Yeah. Because I think oftentimes we as entrepreneurs get to this place where like we become so romantic about it working because we're so convinced that we just, dude, mind sharing resources just become exhausting, you know, through that point. And so, dude, that's big, especially, dude, at 25, whatever, 24, 25. And not that age is a difference, but it's like, dude, if I understood the importance of that when I was 24, 25, I mean, I feel like the success I would create would be overwhelming at this point.
Well, the thing I feel like that you know for sure, because what I appreciate about you and people
Sorry,
like...
bro, I got to take a pause for my thirst, bro.
As you should. People like Gary Vee or people like our buddies, and they're practitioners. Like, you know how to make payroll on a restaurant, right? Yeah. And I know that you didn't even say this, but I know that you know too, like, which account probably drives more traffic to Brunch Me Hard? Brunch Me Hard or your account? Yeah. Definitely it's yours, right? Like, Omar and I were talking about it yesterday. If you could have a personal brand account for your store, for your franchise of Crumble, or they'd let you have, you know, your store with the little location after it, 100 times out of 10, it's going to be the personal brand.
I mean, here's the reality, dude. I've opened in market 7+ brands that are successful in the marketplace today. I've had brands that I've held for several years that have 5,000 or 6,000 followers that are highly relevant, highly profitable, very viable. And I look at Sunday's Best, and do we check a few market trends? Of course. Like, do we hook some things? No, but I'll tell you, it's the only brand I've opened since I got serious about my personal brand, and where I put my personal brand first. Yeah. And when we launched, it went from a few hundred followers, you know, call it 800 to 1,000 followers at the ribbon cutting, to I think we're 12 weeks in now. 12 to 13 weeks in, we're over 11,000 followers on Instagram. We haven't bought a single one or paid a single influencer. I think a big part of that has to do with the presence and I think relevance of my personal brand without question.
Can I tell you what I think would crush it for you?
Yeah. Please.
If you talked to the camera like I did, as frequently and as literally just like straight up.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say right now, but if you're interested, this is what my day consists of.
Yeah.
I think you'd go crazy.
Yeah.
I want to know that. I want to see those stories. Anyone that's below you trying to become you is dying to see those. And the thing I think about a lot is what works good on social? Different shit. Yeah. Different shit works good. You have to change it up.
Yeah.
And I could take your account from fire to just out there, bro.
Let's do this. Dude, it's interesting.
Is that something that a little bit you're not comfortable with?
No, dude. Here's the reality. During the pandemic, right, when all the restaurants were closed, I'm running these round tables. I'm turning the camera on me every day. Yeah. And I'm literally, dude, sometimes I'm setting it up on the dash. I'm doing 90 on the freeway, dude. And people are commenting about that too. And I'm listen, this is my time. iPhone? Totally on my iPhone. Just turn it around. And also just walking the sidewalks downtown, almost every day during kind of peak pandemic time, I was turning the camera on me. I haven't done that as much lately, but dude, I'm going to totally do it now.
You should.
Yeah.
Let me have you help me because I know it's going to help a million people.
Okay, let's do it.
Some stuff I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
Just not struggling with, but definitely developing leadership skills, obviously, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
As we're working on Bountiful will be our 5th store. Then we have Midvale, which is 6th, really close after.
Yeah.
And I just noticed that seems like the biggest variable is literally how can you communicate with your team and have a relationship to where you can get them to do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
At scale.
Yeah, totally.
With 200 employees. And I know other people are going through the exact same thing. Tell me about, because you've done that.
Dude.
Tell me about some practical things that we can hold on to that we could do.
I think first and foremost, you're going from direct control to indirect control. And there's a radical difference between the two. Ethan has been able at maybe 1 to 3 locations to bounce around, to work supply chain, to work creative, to hype teams, to work drive-thrus, to catering, whatever it might be. I've watched you do it, dude, and it's chaotic. You're working, dude, literally 80% of your life that you're awake, you're literally bouncing around. And dude, honestly, you can do that at 3. You can do that at 3 stores. You can do that at 4. Dude, honestly, you can do it at 5 or 6 stores. But here's the reality. The only way you're going to succeed at scale is that when you understand how to create results and outcomes through other people, which means you're no longer the one making that drink, rolling that dough, taking that order.
Yeah.
You are now guiding others how to make that dough, right? Make that drink and take that order.
Yeah.
And so the first kind of big overarching maximum behavior that you need to understand is there's a transition from direct control to indirect control. So what does that mean? That means I need to build a structure, right, around getting people, really, the reality is this, building a structure to duplicate in your likeness, which is how do I build 5 more Ethans? How do I build a framework? And oftentimes we go, oh, well, it's training, or it's systems, or it's build cards, or it's leadership summit, it's communication, it's this platform, and all of those things are real. But I think what we have to understand when we go to scale is that we no longer have direct control of our success. We have indirect control of our success. And we have to get the 10 other Ethans to execute at that level.
Yeah.
And what's beautiful about mastering the art of indirect control is that your Ethans that you duplicate will actually be better than you. You will actually find they may not care about the business as much as you do, but you're going to find someone who's actually better at taking orders than you. They're going to find someone who's actually a better manager than you. Yeah. You're going to find someone with greater, culinary background and expertise than you. Yeah. And that takes a lot of confidence. And so for those that are listening in, for those that are kind of finding themselves in this challenging space of scale, the first advice I'm going to give you is that recognize that from indirect control or direct control to indirect control, and the next one is reflection. It's all on you now. You have to grow an inner confidence that it's okay and that you find yourself where you don't have to be directly involved in the operation. Yeah. You have to build enough self-confidence that you can execute. Now you've invested in others to get to that outcome. Yeah. And you as an individual have to become confident in that.
So it's essentially like you're hyper focused on your stores and everything going in and out of them for 1 to 3, and then you automatically switch to that corporate team you hire, or area manager you hire, to focusing on what can I do to him to get him to do what I want, essentially, right?
You got to make it clear. Like, your North Star has got to be blinding bright. And you go from, like, what used to be the solve to every problem is more hours and more activation to this is what success looks like, and here is our plan.
Yeah.
And so you're going to go from, like, you doing kind of everything, and the solve to more to your opportunities or your challenges or successes are more labor, and now it's more strategic planning. Now it's resource deployment and good management.
Yeah.
And that's a shift.
Yeah.
It's a shift.
It almost feels like I'm cheating sometimes, you know, like, no, I want to be in, like, I got to hustle this one out. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, there was a time, no shit, there was a time when, I'm not going to say I got bored, but it was like, okay, I'm going to go grab this new revenue stream idea.
Yeah.
Like corporate C-suite, CEO of an emerging brand, over 1,000 team members, doing a crazy amount of revenue. We're highly profitable. And I'm like, this is kind of cush. Not that I want it to be cush, but it was kind of like, okay, I want to challenge the team. I want to challenge me differently, because great operations drive owners crazy because they don't feel like they're doing enough. Let me give you an example. Years and years ago, when I first became an indirect leader, like a district manager, right? This is years ago, and a very successful, first time. And I remember, dude, I was on the golf course with my boss, and my phone kept ringing, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. My boss is in the golf cart with me. People are calling me, dude. Of course they need me. Like, I'm solving problems on the phone, dude. I'm talking about, like, let's get hyped up. Like, we're gonna slay tonight. Everything smothered. Everyone gets chips and queso. Everyone with the tres leches. If they don't buy desserts, you buy it for them. Like, I'm literally like hyping, right? It was all of this stuff, and I'm doing everything from, like, literally in my mind. I'm kind of creating a bit of a story now. But the reality is, like, it's like, dude, I'm talking grease traps. I'm talking tortilla camals. I'm talking smothered burritos, upsells, clock-ins, clock-outs, cleanliness, all the things that you, as an operator and as an owner, are important. And I'm basically, like, bragging so my boss can hear.
Yeah.
And I get off, and I'm like, dude, yeah, totally. And I get off with him, and I'm like, dude, isn't it so badass, bro? We're just kicking ass and taking names. And he goes, no. I'm like, what do you mean no? And here I'm doing this because I think I'm impressing my boss and mentor at the time. And he goes, let me give you a little insight. And I go, what's that? And he goes, great operators' phones don't ring. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, great operators' phones don't ring. And I go, well, dude, I'm a great operator. He says, well, maybe. He goes, you're a glorified manager right now.
Yeah.
I go, what does that mean? And so we break this down. And this was a breakthrough for me. Breakthrough in my time. Because here I am thinking that I'm impressing my boss, and my boss is telling me, like, listen, you're missing it. Like, you're doing everybody's job for him. What you're not getting clear on is what success looks like and how to resource and get people to that outcome. Yeah. So he said to me, he goes, Em, I want you to take a legal pad, and I want you to keep it next to you. And every time your phone rings during the day, I want you to write down who called you and why. And he goes, and then the next day, it's exactly what I want you to work on. Yeah. He goes, I want you to work on your phone never ringing. And so think about that right now for Ethan.
Genius.
What are the calls that you get and the messages that you get from the restaurants right now? Yeah. Just think about that. And then note those and go, how do I keep those from happening? Is it greater training? Is it new talent acquisition? Is it better systems? Is it, build cards, recipes, different schedules? Like, what are those reasons? And when you go to scale, if you duplicate in the amount of calls that you're getting or the amount that you need, you'll burn out. Mm-hmm. But if you start to look at what the business needs are, and then you strategically identify that as like your hit list for the day, the week, the month, whatever it might be, and build a framework around it, dude, I think you'll get a breath that'll allow you to be a better up and out leader. Like, a CEO and visionary needs to be focused on what is our North Star and where are we going. Yeah. And as an operator, when you're down in the weeds, it's all performance and viability. Yeah. And right now you're both. And the reality is you will be both probably forever to some extent. But at what point do you see yourself leaning more into your business and operations and performance, or do you see yourself leaning out and up and going, like, we're going to take thirst to the moon? Yeah. But you can't take thirst to the moon, dude, if you're in the weeds.
Talk to me about, well,
I'm going to take a thirst.
Take a thirst.
It's good. It's really good.
Dude, that's genius.
The thirst? I think it is, bro. Oh, because I dropped that light bulb on you right now, and now you're going like. A different way to think about it. And we don't have to complicate it. Like, we don't have to complicate it.
Yeah.
We as like owners, as operators, we think that everything has to be hard, so we make it hard.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm saying some of the things that move our organizations the most actually are the least complex.
Yeah.
If we let them be.
Yeah. How do you? What are some tips to like talk? Is there a certain way you communicate with your team? Or like any structure within you do that? Like, I sometimes like, I just notice my mood can change the whole company in 2 seconds. Yeah. It can change 150 people just by walking into the room.
Totally.
And like, I don't know, how much emotion do you bring into business? How much emotion do you bring into when you're upset with your team? Like, how would you handle a situation like that?
Dude, I'm gonna bring like what I believe is like the MBA, the doctorate of like human behavior, because that's just only hard learned like over time. And in no way am I probably qualified enough to speak from that level. But I'm gonna bring like, this isn't the 101 stuff or the 1050 stuff. This is like the advanced stuff. Here's the reality, dude. And I'm gonna give you a couple of them. One is, you have to take direct control of what you can take direct control over. And it just so happens that our biggest variable to our success is our behavior. And no one's in control of that but you. You can allow other people to affect you. You can allow metrics and schedules and environment and crisis and realities to affect that. But at the end of the day, Ethan's in charge of Ethan and Ethan's behavior. And I actually am the exact same way. I know that I can literally shift the organization immediately based off my presence. Yeah. So I want to use an example. Think about the amount of times you've engaged with me. Have I been somewhat predictable? Do you predict I'm going to walk in on fire?
100%.
And do you, whatever form you've seen me in, whether I'm passing you at an event that we didn't know we were going to see each other in, or you're anticipating I'm walking through the door, I'm predictable. Here's why. I feel like the best leaders in the country or in the world are predictable, good and bad. I spend a lot of time making sure my character's in check.
Yeah.
If I can't carry myself in a way that furthers the organization, I don't show up.
Yeah.
It's rare that I don't, but I'm going to tell you that over time, I've realized that I have that ability. I am like that denominator, good, bad, and ugly for the organization. And so if I can't be on my game, if I can't be Micheal McHenry, I don't show up.
Yeah.
I don't show up for that reason. The next one is this, and this is a lesson I want you to hear, because you say this in your words and right now, where we find ourselves in this place where we're extremely passionate. Dude, you're passionate. Dude, I've watched you literally like getting your ass kicked on the dough roll before, dude, and you make it seem like you're swimming, dude, in the ocean in Fiji, bro. Like you make like shit look awesome. And I'm the same way. Like we're ducks in the water. But here's something that I learned from my coach years ago that literally has changed my life. In the times in which I'm not most passionate, in the times in which I'm most emotional, are the times in which I need to become most curious. Think about it. When you're frustrated, you're pissed, you're upset, whatever it might be, you show up and you're like, dude, hell, get out of the way. I'm gonna rescue this. Like, we're 25 cars down, we're 3 people down, like whatever those reasons
That's
are.
the realest scenario you ever just threw out.
Totally, right? But you come in hot, right? Instead of coming in like all horsepower, you can come in and be LeBron James, come in and be Spider Mitchell or Jordan Clarkson, whatever you want to do to come in and win the game, be the 6th man and come in off the bench and score 30. And you can walk in too with this open heart and open mind and ask a few questions that you need to ask. Take your note from the phone call, right? And actually get better while you rescue the team. Yeah. Instead of come in and rescue the team, beat up morale, right? And then recover it for the next 2 to 3 days. You can actually come in and go like, we're all going to work hard. We're already in the mess. We're going to figure out how we're going to get better from it. We're going to grow, and I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. I'm going to be super curious for the Thirst family, right, while we all lean in.
Yeah.
And so in those times when you're most emotional, become most curious, dude. It will change your freaking life, and it'll do nothing but move morale in a more connective and furthering position.
What's your take on being, because I think I spent a lot of time thinking about, like, am I being too soft on this person? And I honestly get that rep a little bit probably in our company. Yeah. It's like, oh, maybe I should have fired someone earlier. Yeah. What's your take on, Aaron, like, holding people super accountable and kind of being more strict versus being more of a soft type of leader?
Listen, dude, I think both are good. I think that there's no question that there's something to be said about like having this very massaging style and like how you grow and further talent. I think that's also more of a manager's mentality. I think reality is when you're in there 50, 60 hours a week with the same team, you need a massage. And the reality is when you have an opportunity to be brief, be bright, be gone, you just have to realize that you have the organization. You are the last line of defense. So there's a difference. I think you have to separate like how you engage with your store level teams versus your executive team or those that you're rolling with every day. And I think they're a bit different. And so
executives specifically.
Yeah, like executives specifically. So I think that reality is you have to make the expected outcome so clear and so resourced, and you have to put your energy into what the expectation is, not in your relationship with the individual. And when you make the outcome not personal, then you can lean in any fashion in which you want with the personalities that you lead. Right. It's when you don't make your expectation, the goal, the North Star, the outcome incredibly bright and incredibly clear, that's when you're going to find yourself at conflict with your team. And so I think that massaging is good, but I also think that accountability partnership is better.
Yeah.
And I think performance to plan is golden.
Yeah.
And I think this soft science of like rah, 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 let's go own the world together without any like clear, expected outcome is honestly, dude, is just prolonging, needed change. Yeah. And I would say that's really where I would come from.
Yeah, just every situation's so different.
It's so different. Every talent is so different.
Yeah, I totally believe in that. Yeah.
And so what you do with that, you have executive team, it's 10 people, it's 5 people, it's 4 people, it's 0 people. But instead of trying to figure out how am I going to work with these 8 different personalities, just make sure that all 8 personalities that support you understand what you expect and what you're clear on. Like, where are we going and how are we getting there? Yeah. And then it'll be less about like how you're working with each one independently and more about what you're all doing to independently contribute to the mission.
Yeah.
And bro, that's art. It is art. Leadership is art. And I don't think that like saying, hey, be me, or I'm trying to be you is the right recipe. I think it's find out what you believe is best for your environment and for what you expect with your mission and vision, and literally like balls to the walls with unwavering pursuit. Get there.
Yeah.
With your team.
As you were like earlier in your career, how did you handle like the stress and anxiety of just the stakes are higher? You know what I mean? Like a 2% raise in labor at 4 stores hurts bad, versus at 1 store you didn't really feel it as much. And so the stakes are higher. I mean, more anxious, more stressed about stuff than ever.
I think here's the reality. I got really good at compartmentalizing. And dude, that's not healthy. You're saying like, how'd you deal with stress? How did you deal with, the pressures, the anxieties of performance, of growth, of lack of experience? Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, like, dude, reality is, dude, I feel like as an entrepreneur, dude, if you're not spending like maybe a day, a morning, a month, kind of in the shower on the floor going like, what am I getting myself into? Yeah. You're actually not making a big splash. Yeah. Like you're not driving yourself through discomfort. Yeah. I think the moment that you become complacent or you get to a point where it's like cruise control, exit.
Yeah.
Exit, because all you're going to do is sabotage your business.
Yeah.
You're going to sabotage the people around you. And so I think that is real. I think those pressures are real. Yeah. And so when you ask me like, what did I do to deal with it early in my career? I compartmentalized and I almost like got very good at creating a narrative where it didn't exist. And I just talked myself into a new outcome. And now it's like
focused on solutions.
And now I just take time. I literally, dude, I'm more thoughtful now than I've ever been about my operation, about my people, about my community, about like what's important to me. And so now I just give myself time to process. I give myself time to think versus just overwhelm situations, myself and others, with horsepower and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spend more time on that. And dude, it's why I hike almost every day.
Yeah.
I hike almost every day to give that bit of counterbalance to my mind share.
Yeah.
To help me be more thoughtful and participate more. I'll use this as a father, but dude, for years I thought I was a great father. And I was a great provider. But as a father, you want participation, you want mentorship, you want involvement, you want to show up. And I showed up differently. I really showed up economically.
Yeah.
And the last few years where I've shown up and participated with my daughter thoughtfully, I've become what I believe is a very good dad.
Yeah.
Because I participate.
Yeah.
And so I think we take that example to our business. You have to figure out a way, and those listening that are finding themselves in this situation, we have to find a way to be more thoughtful and to participate differently, oftentimes differently, if we're expecting, a different result. Right. And so I would say, like, you've got to give yourself time to think and to participate.
Stuff, yeah. You are alpha, dude. You're cool. You're dope. You're dope.
Thanks,
like,
bro.
people look up to you. Like, what do you message are you trying to tell? If I like to think like entrepreneurs my age, at least at some point, will be listening to this,
sure.
Or maybe it's my kid, or maybe it's everyone in Salt Lake. Like, what message are you trying to spread? Like, what do you want to make cool? You know what I mean? Because you got a moment where you can, people are looking up to you all over Salt Lake. Like, you can make whatever you want to be cool. Like,
dude, I'll tell you this much right now, dude. I think, again, these are kind of loaded questions, which I love. And I think they're always kind of multifaceted for me. And I think the biggest one is connectivity. Like, dude, why I'm sitting here with you, honestly, isn't because I feel like you need me to sit with you to honestly run a better business or to sell more great drinks or continue to scale. You're already doing that.
Yeah.
And I think sitting down with you, like, I don't have to sit down with you to continue to create success in my business. But I think here's the reality. I'm sitting down with you because connectivity is important to me.
Yeah.
And I want a community that leans on each other, that celebrates each other's success, that recognizes that we all need, like, a tiny bit of the available market share to be wildly successful. So let's just help.
Abundance, dude.
Let's help each other.
Abundance.
Like, being abundant. And so connectivity for me is huge.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like I spent so many years, like right now, dude. Like, if we, like, dude, I brought you a dope pair of Nikes. Yeah, you got to show those on camera at some point.
Jeez.
But my point is like, I wish I would have known 6 to 8 years ago that if I just wore a dope pair of J's to the dining room instead of just collect them and keep them under my stairs because I was so afraid to wear them. Because as a kid, dude, Jordans weren't an option for me. And so when I could afford to buy them, I kept them like on a crystal pedestal, dude.
Yeah.
I never wore them.
Yeah.
But here's something that's interesting. We talk about connectivity. By wearing a pair of J's in my dining room and the amount of conversations and the ability for my team to relate to me, younger demos, relate to me versus walking in a freaking $2,000, $3,000 suit, and dude, you're making yourself even more intimidating. You're parking your exotic,
You
you're
see this all the time.
Yeah, I see it. And by the way, I was that guy.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm wearing a watch that costs more than your car, right? Like, at that point, and I'm like, I thought that was important, and the reality is, dude, what I did not realize that something like a pair of sneakers, a dope pair of J's, could be so furthering in culture because it allowed my team to approach me with something a little more casual, something a little more kind of hip, connected, and culturally based.
Yeah.
And so I talk about that now where it's like, dude, I oftentimes wear sneakers and jeans and hats and dress a little more youthful to my style because I want to make myself more relatable. I want to make myself more approachable instead of being this like large presence that's intimidating.
Yeah.
So I say that like, dude, connectivity is really why I do what I do. And I also like, dude, I think I have a recipe for winning. And I want other people to win.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to give it everything they need. They just got to show up and execute.
Yeah. Well, and my answer to that question is, I just feel like with attention, you could do anything. Like, if you want to go spread this, whatever message you have, do that.
Yeah.
If you want to just play the game of entrepreneurship and go start 1 million businesses and have your audience follow you, that works too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can literally do anything at that point.
Yeah. Dude, connectivity, man. I love it. I love our sidewalk. I love the people that make it up. I think we live in the greatest city in the world, dude. I believe it. Have I been to every city in the world? No, but I think it's going to be tough to rival this one. I love it more today, more authentically, more genuinely today than ever before.
Yeah.
Than ever before. And I think you have that. I think you have this ability that shows people that it's possible. I think you have this ability to connect people through a super cool brand.
Yeah.
In thirst in what you're creating. It's attractive to me, dude. I'm a brand builder.
Yeah.
Like my life revolves around creating great, viable, sustainable brands.
What's on the horizon? Like, tell me about it.
Dude. I think,
what's on your mind? What do you think's next? What do you want to do? What do you want to get done?
Bro, I want to help a crazy amount of people. Like, I want to help a crazy amount of people. I don't know that exact number. I don't even know the exact number is important as much as like I just want to help people succeed. I want to help create community, dude, that loves, but also is not afraid to just be tenacious and ambitious and loud.
Yeah.
Like I love that. I love that. I continue to just, even as I talk to you, man, I almost get a little bit emotional, like not in tears, but in just like, I just want to like jump up and go after it because I know that I can help people. I know I can help people win. So next for me, obviously, is to continue to have a greater and greater and more sustained impact in our community. And if you're asking me in terms of brand, I mean, pancakes and champagne are hot as can be right now. But I can tell you, I also know that everything tastes better in a tortilla, and I can't wait to disrupt that market.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. We're going to continue to bring what we believe is the market's next best. I feel like we're just getting in stride now. But the McHenry Group is here to really be the most progressive, experiential concept creation brand in our sector in the country. And yeah, we're tucked away here in the Southwest, but I can tell you right now, I already believe that we're rivaling what's happening coast to coast.
So what you're building is a restaurant group, essentially.
It's built.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, TMG's sole purpose is to incubate like experiential restaurant brands and proof their viability and ultimately exit to like thoughtful operators and funds that want to take stuff to scale. And
to what point do you guys want to take things? Like how many locations of a brand would you want?
Our sweet spot, I believe, is 3 to 5 locations. I think you learned that.
Really? We just blowing them up.
Just 3 to 5 locations and creating wild success from it, and then ultimately exiting to great partners. You saw us recent. You saw one of the most valuable acquisitions happen in the Utah market with Dirty Bird Hot Chicken with Wags Capital and Aaron Wagner and their partners. Seeing not only the success and viability of the current business, but saw this roadmap of what they can believe they can create with it. And when you just think about an acquisition like that, think about 263 square feet yielding a $20 million investment and only had been open for 22 months.
Yeah.
And it's almost like mind-boggling.
How are you doing it?
It's like, think about this. It's almost $90,000 a square foot. And we do that by creating not only a recipe for success and market timing, but growth. Like showing that there's a growth opportunity and ramp for these brands to be successful in the marketplace. And we spend as much time on our relevance and the future of what we're building as we do in the current state of our viability. And we put as much focus into both.
Yeah. I think something that you told me at that conference or something, because we would love to increase sales, especially this time of year, right? It makes it easier to manage our labor. Obviously, we'd always love to increase sales, right?
Sales are king and queen, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you need it.
Revenue, baby.
Yeah, and so I look at how we could do this, and like I'm initially going to that conference, I was thinking of a million ways, like I normally do to drive traffic.
Yeah.
Hustling and all the social media strategies and all the different marketing strategies I love. You were talking about just going deeper. That's what I kind of got out of it is like, let's focus on, upselling to our customers, giving even a better experience to them so that they're telling other people about it. Let's focus on rolling out a take and bake line and pushing our merch to them over the winter. Going deeper instead of just trying to pack more cars in there and like less focus on the operations.
What we're doing now is we're kind of...
Was I accurate there?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen now in this conversation, I hope that people are seeing this in reality. We're talking a lot about like behavior and focus and maxims and execution, right? And now what we're doing is we're shifting to economics. And here's the reality. It is far easier and more profitable for your business to add units to a ticket than it is to actually get a new car in your drive-thru.
Right.
And so when we talk about going deeper, I think that what we have is an opportunity every time that someone decides to vote with their wallet at Thirst, at Dirty Bird, at Ginger Street, at Sunday's Best, at Costa Vida, whatever these brands are, Provisions right down the street, wherever it might be, when someone's already voting with their wallet, they already believe in you. They already trust you. And so when they trust you,
they came there in the first place? Yeah.
Listen, dude, at the end of the day, there's 4,700 plus restaurants and bars open in the state of Utah. When someone pulls into the Thirst parking lot, it's 4,700 to 1.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's 4,700 to 1. So if it's 4,700 to 1, dude, go all in.
Yeah.
Create the most furthering experience possible. Like the most furthering experience possible. That doesn't mean upsell, right? That means create the most furthering experience possible, and the fruitful byproduct of that is just more revenue.
Yeah.
and a greater experience that you believe that when people leave here with more, it's not just like, oh, hey, thirst is winning, we made more money. It's when people leave here with more items, it's a greater chance that we have to create their advocacy, to gain their advocacy.
We get a chance for them to taste it, yeah.
Yeah, like, and we know, dude, tell me this. And dude, by the way, thanks for all your help at Vivint, right? But you told me, dude, Michael, I got in because I went in there, dude, and I fed them. And we know that we win in our business when people drink our drinks and like drink our Kool-Aid, drink our drinks, eat our food, eat our treats, and meet our people, we win.
Yeah.
If we're trying to just tell you that message online only, or we're trying to send you a gift card, or we're trying to email blast or SMS text blast you or email blast you or put up a billboard or send you an ad or, persuade you online, all of those things are all a part of marketing and strategy and all work to whatever level in which we believe they do or don't. But nothing sells our brands more than them actually breaking bread with you, right? True.
Yeah.
And so that's where I look at, dude, it's oftentimes not about just trying to go out and get more people in your drive-thru. It's like, how do we create a more furthering experience with the individuals that are in our drive-thru, because they're actually going to put 10 cars in our line. We're going to buy one.
Yeah, we're going to buy one, yeah. Maybe.
And what you yield from her, getting 10 of her friends to show up, and the return of the ROI on that, dude, it is like astronomically different than you buying 10 cars.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, it's literally, dude, it's like a little league football team playing against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that different.
Yeah.
It's literally that different.
And it's not the first thought of strategy. Like, it's not. Like, it's most people kind of default to, it's almost the easier way out to like buy some Facebook ads or something than really hone in your
It's
experience.
a funnel, right? The more people you put in, what does the retention look like? So if I continue to put hundreds or thousands, whatever, it's all relative to the size of your business. I'm putting hundreds in, I'm putting thousands in, and then what is my retention like? And so, like, dude, that was kind of, I'm going to say the old way of doing business. That's a lot of kind of click funnels and all the stuff that happens anyways. You know this in marketing. That's just a reality.
Yeah.
But very few actually spend their time like understanding why people are retained.
Yeah.
Like, why is our retention higher or lower?
Yeah.
And if we flip the script to the other side and realize that the funnel, we don't need to create a funnel to go buy new traffic over and over and over. Let's take what we have retained and turn them into advocates. Let's turn them into brand evangelists. Yeah. And what does that take? And dude, it's a flip of the script.
Yeah.
Because the approach is different.
Yeah.
Bro, I can buy it right now, and I do. In some brands, especially early brands, dude, I have those kind of, you get it. I'm gonna stereotype for a minute, but like that room of like the MIT dropouts, dude. They're like smoking cigarettes, eating Twinkies, buying traffic online. I do that all the time, right? But it's a different team that you're investing in, which are like your experience creators, right? That are in your drive-thrus, that are at your registers. It's you on your social.
Yeah.
Like, that's a different approach. And I think if we see them both similarly, if we see that they're both an investment into a future outcome, you'll succeed.
I love it. What can we leave everyone with? Salt Lake City, Micheal McHenry, seriously a legend. So, dude. Dirty Bird.
Yeah, I mean,
we list them all off.
Yeah,
here.
so
where can they go see your creations?
Before I go that, dude, I'm gonna really drop something for Salt Lake City, bro. I can't wait till I see the opportunity where you and I are arm in arm on a vision together.
Let's go.
I think that will be, honestly, dude, I think that you and I going together arm in arm on something would be just bonkers for this
next
community.
level.
It's kind of like, it's not the old and new. It's like, it's just progress. It's progression. And I think that, dude, I think that would be dope.
It'd be dope.
It'd be super dope.
Be super dope.
I mean, obviously, right now, the best way to like get to me is obviously on social.
Yeah.
Micheal McHenry. That's just my handle. My name is my handle. That's actually me on Instagram. On these other forums, if you reach out, dude, reality is you email me. It's probably not me responding to you. If you jump on my LinkedIn, it's 100% not
Instagram,
me.
Where it's at, baby.
But Instagram's where the attention is, and that's where I am. So that's a great place. And of course, like Tableside and my brands.
Yeah, man.
Like, dude, Ginger Street in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
Dirty Bird, obviously across the state now and soon to be across the country, growing rapidly. More than 8 locations under some form of development currently. Of course, it's Sunday's Best in the heart of Sandy. Come in and shake it up. Let's do some pancakes and champagne together. Let's get after it. Oakwood Fire Kitchen in Draper. Of course, our sister restaurant just down the street here at Provisions. I feel like we're really kind of pushing the culinary and craft and hospitality boundaries of the community. But I also know that we're very approachable. So I'd love to see anyone and everyone in these dining rooms, like high five me, message me on Instagram. If I don't get back to your first DM or your second DM or your third, hopefully like the fourth or fifth, especially if it's meaningful, like I want to help you. Like I want to help you win. And so, you know, I guess what I have for the city is like, I'm inviting you to join us. I'm inviting you to get in your drive-through. I'm inviting people to hopefully pay attention to what we're doing, and we'll be arm in arm in a vision together.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm ready to keep shaking it up.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, it was a pleasure, brother. Thank you for everything you did.
Yeah, man. Much love, dude.
Much love.
Yeah, and many, many, many cheers, man. And Thirst is like, bro, I'm proud of you, dude. I'm proud of you. And I don't just tell people about their brands. I only support the people and minds, the things that I believe in. And if I thought you were a good dude, it'd be great. I wouldn't be jumping on your podcast or probably coming through your drive-through or celebrating your brand. But, dude, I mean, you saw me introduce you at that conference not too long ago.
Dude.
And literally the principles of that conference were literally like, dude, he's our biggest threat. And that's just something to know, dude. When you're shaking up the business, dude, good, bad, or ugly, dude, it's good to be a threat. And you want to maintain that. So, dude, just stay dangerous, baby.
I'm going for it, baby. I got a lot left in the tank. You know it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. Cheers.
Money coming, money go. I've been at it on the low. Trapping out of where I live. I can see the leaders doing us. We talking plans and maybe seeing you. Pull up on you, let me scoop. Nobody here but me and you. Got a little ring to it, turn that thing fluid in the coupe. Way you look, I know it's real. I'm on my Marchand. I've been really getting a feel. You know why I'm here, don't act like you don't know how I feel.